Hey everybody, it's Candy View here, and welcome back to another The Finals video. Similar to the minigun, I want to talk about the Flamethrower, which is my favorite heavy weapon in the game, and definitely just one of my favorite weapons to use in this game in general. Been using it since Season 1, and when I came back in Season 5, definitely still using it. I just like the consistent damage application, but I want to make this video so that we can improve our tactics and strategies, and try and improve our ability to use this weapon in-game. In any kind of setting, really. I mean, I use this weapon in World Tour, I've definitely used it in Ranked, and had some pretty good results. It just depends on how you play. So we're going to talk about all the stuff that I do to make it better for me, and hopefully that can translate to making it better for you. So we'll talk about some really basic stuff. This thing should have a range of 7 meters. 7 or 8 meters. I just assume 7 just because the closer the better. Being closer doesn't increase your damage in any way, so just keep that in mind. Obviously you want to close the distance because a lot of people's reactions to seeing this is they want to run away. So you definitely should be approaching as close as possible when trying to kill an enemy. The flames go through people, so if someone's standing behind another person, you will hit both of them. So that's a very useful thing when you're facing off a group. Don't be too scared. You just will definitely want to run them down as fast as you can. If there's a heavy on the team, though, it makes it really difficult for you to face them. Mainly because their health pool is so large. So you want to use other things to take down a heavy as quick as possible, and we'll obviously talk about that. The flames have a very interesting, like, visual hitbox. On the left side, it doesn't look like it should hit them, but it's a lot more forgiving. And on the right side, you don't really gotta worry about it. It kind of does match pretty well with how that looks. So it's mainly on the left when it's a little like, it looks bigger than it actually is. So we'll talk about the gadgets I use. I use 2 out of the 3 meta gadgets for heavy. RPG, so should be self-explanatory. I mean, just instant damage is always good for this thing. The dome shield, really good for covering. This is a close range weapon, so you want to make some sort of little cover for yourself, and if they're shooting at you but they can't hit you and you can shoot back and you can hit them, that is perfect for any situation. And if you're forcing them to come to you, that's even better. You just need them to make a decision about that basically like ruins their game. Do they come to you to take more damage and possibly kill you, or do they run away and definitely just kind of get themselves in a really bad position that you can take advantage of? And finally, I think this is a necessity. The Pyro Mine is so good for the Flamethrower. You see this used by a lot of other people and players that use the Flamethrower, but if you didn't know why, this is why. So, as you can see, the flames stay up in the air, and that's really good for a flamethrower user because obviously one of the downsides of this weapon is that you don't have a lot of range. So if someone's shooting at you from above and you're looking up at them, this is the best way to deter them because you can basically just throw this in the air, detonate it mid-air, and then the flames will stay up there. They gotta kind of deal with a flame wall in their face while they're trying to shoot at you. So it makes it really difficult, and if you force them to make any decision that makes it easier for you to damage them, that's obviously the most ideal situation. Now, onto the specializations. I'm actually re-recording the intro because when the first intro I didn't use any other specializations besides the goo gun. We'll talk about that later, but I want to start off with the going from what I think is the worst to the best ones. Best specializations you can use. We're going to start off with the winch claw. I don't really like this thing that much for the flamethrower, mainly because I think its application is only like suboptimal. It's whatever. The best thing you can do with this is obviously bring people closer to you, so that you can get them in the range that you want to like damage them. It's obviously better than running at them, but a lot of the times what you want to try and do is be up in their face and try and force them to make decisions that are not good for them, making it so that your team has an easier time trying to kill them as well. And, you know, that involves finding, like, flank routes and trying to get up in there. It's kind of, the winch claw kind of promotes the opposite, which is, I don't think it's a terrible thing, because pulling somebody out and putting them in a bad position is not that bad. But then you do this once and then it's like, it's over. I think the other specializations do, like, both of those, getting them to you or you going to them in a much better way. And definitely in a much more effective manner than, you know, what should be. You know, I just don't enjoy it as I just don't enjoy it as much as the other specializations. I also think that once you miss it, I mean, you're kind of done, because you pause the damage that you're doing, and that's awful for this kind of weapon, because you wanna keep doing the damage in order to be the most effective, like any weapon. But I think it's emphasized. It's kind of a similar emphasis to the minigun. And then from here, I think the charge slam is fun and definitely good for damage application, because basically what happens is that you put them down to half, and then you can charge through them and basically kill them, like, right off the bat. It's some good stuff, and obviously the charge and slam has other applications, like going through walls, going through floors. Really good for creating flank routes or just getting the heck out of there. It's important to consider, but I still don't think it's as useful as the other specializations that I'm going to talk about. And these two are basically up there to be the best ones for the flamethrower, in my opinion. The mesh shield was surprising to me, because I didn't think I would enjoy it as much, but it's all about how you use it. And basically what you want to do for this type of flamethrower build is that you want to play a aggressive defensive style, which basically just involves you understanding how to switch between the two types of styles. And what that involves is making space for your team. So, you know, you activate this thing, you charge at them, and as long as your team is behind you, can help, they will be shooting at them, and the enemy will be taking damage but can't shoot at your teammates. This is perfect for you, because once they get into a position where their back's against the wall or they're trying to run away, you drop the shield, and then you start chasing them with the flamethrower, and they're forced to do something that, you know, they're not going to like, but your team is going to love. I had a really, oh man, I hate it when this happens. This happened in the first video. I had a situation where I charged a light, and lights cannot deal with the flamethrower like the other classes can. I charged a light because I knew that I would win the fight, but I didn't expect that there was a teammate with him, like a medium teammate. So I kill the light, and then I switch to look at the medium, pull up my shield, and I'm telling my teammate, he's right there, he's right there. My teammate starts dealing with him, that enemy turns around, and then I can do whatever the hell I want. So you just kind of want to use this to get aggressive and then turtle, and then if the opportunity presents itself when the enemy's not looking, then you just go at them full force. It's a lot of fun, and I like it a lot, but I don't like it as much as the goo gun. The goo gun, I definitely think this is one of the more underrated gadgets, especially for the flamethrower. Basic application, you know, just do defensive stuff. Any time you make a defense with a goo gun, it basically forces the enemy to play a certain way. And I get that, like, this is the game where you can kind of just attack something at any angle, but the entire reason why you would want to use the goo gun for defense is that, I mean, you can basically just force the enemy to use resources to try and get to you. And that's a win in my book any day. That's the basic application of it. But for the flamethrower specifically, and I mean, you can apply this to other weapons too, but I like this with the flamethrower a lot, is that the flamethrower gets really strong depending on your flank capabilities and your ability to just know the map well. And you can use the goo gun to your advantage, because you can just create bridges, create platforms, create stairs up to certain places where people wouldn't expect you. And that's amazing for the flamethrower, because then you can get behind them and you can start doing all this tricky stuff. And it's just derived from the idea of, you know, create your own way to play, and have them play around you, not the other way around. You want to be really smart about how you use the goo gun. And I've been using this since season 1, and it kind of surprised me that when I thought about like using other specializations that I didn't actually do that. I was only using the goo gun for the flamethrower. But this kind of comes to me naturally. I just like using this thing for the flamethrower all the time, because I just think the capabilities you have to create all this different unexpected mobility for yourself is just amazing. And obviously, I mean, I don't really gotta explain this that much, but the interaction with goo and fire is fun as well, because then, hey, if the defense doesn't go as planned, set fire to it, it all just goes up in smoke. Good stuff. Anyway, so yeah, that's all I have to say about this part in the firing range. I don't know how I'm gonna structure the video. I might do this. I might put the gameplay while I'm talking about the stuff here. Hopefully that's how I do it, because I want to try and adapt my editing stuff. But either way, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a good day.
Hey everybody, just some concluding thoughts, and I'll pair it up with gameplay. I realized that I forgot to talk about the lockbolt launcher, which I think is like an okay thing to use with the flamethrower. I don't really enjoy it that much because my playstyle is very flank heavy and aggressive, and I tend to use the other gadgets way more, including the pyromine, a lot more for my offensive pushes than I do the lockbolt. So I don't actually prioritize using the lockbolt, but I still think it's pretty good depending on how you use it. I also realized that there's another gas grenade. I don't know if I mentioned that one already. Already pretty good to pair it up with a more defensive play style, and then you can use that to also trigger like a gas explosion afterwards if you know how to use that well. But one thing I definitely know that I missed talking about when I was doing like the training area was that I didn't talk about like your movement while you're using the flamethrower. A lot of the times what you want to do is you don't want to keep yourself just like steady when you are using the flamethrower. Like you want to move around a lot more. You want to be able to use slides and crouches and jumps to be able to stop, like not let a guy headshot you, because that's probably going to be like your biggest weakness. If the guy's just like headshotting you the entire time, you might actually lose to the fight. And I mean, this really only happens when you're facing off like heavies and stuff like that, because they're the ones who are going to be able to like tank all the hits, tank all the flames, and possibly like kill you with a bunch of headshots. It's really just you really just need to make sure that you don't make yourself an easy target. And I think the gameplay that I have here shows a little bit of that. So if you want to see some examples, this should be decent enough for you to be able to like copy and kind of like get a quick understanding of like what kind of movement you want to do to make sure that you're not like a sitting duck or anything like that. But I have a couple of these clips here which are all like from world tours that, I mean, not all of them I've won, but like I feel like I did pretty well playing as a flamethrower heavy. I didn't really talk about much what I was doing here, but that's because a lot of what I tried doing here is what I've already talked about in the tutorial area. So, you know, hopefully this video was helpful for you, and I hope you have a good day. All right, goodbye then.